You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
All right, we are starting lying down on our backs. If you've got your bolster or your blocks, we're going to go into supported fish. So that is a choice whether you want to have the bolster lengthways or widthways across the mat. If it's widthways, you're going to need to support your head with a block underneath, or as I've done, I put one horizontal and one vertical. So coming into supported fish the most easy and comfortable way possible, starting to connect into your space today, connecting into your body, just allowing this connection to bring you deeper into the present moment. And just really starting to feel that you're letting the day go away and you're right here, right now. Letting the past and future from your thoughts disappear and being completely present, being fully aware, fully conscious of any sensations and feelings. This is our end of the month, slow and stretchy sequence. So slow and stretchy into the legs, the hips, the pelvis, a little bit into the lower back, a little bit into the rest of the spine, shoulders, and upper back. A bit of a combination of everything that we have done throughout the last month. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and then exhale that breath out of the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Last one, deep breath in through the nose and exhale out of the mouth. And then just breathe normally, noticing how those exhales felt as you just sighed out, letting go, releasing tightness, tension, gripping, holding on. Those important sensations and feelings are going to guide you through your slow and stretchy practice today. So just for now, thinking of your own intention for practice, your sankalpa. What do you need most today? What do you want to get from your practice, particularly today? Let's wiggle those fingers, bring some movement back into the toes, movement into the ankles and the wrists. Give them a little flex and a point. And then bring the hands by the side of the body, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, and gently lift the head and the neck away from the back block, looking along the body, so looking along the sternum, looking towards the toes. And then gently you might pull those elbows back a little bit further so that you can lift up into that, well, not supported, but you're supporting yourself here. So I've pulled myself away from the block. That's it. Lifting up, opening the heart space. Maybe the gaze goes to the sky as you lengthen through the back. We're not caving in the chest here. We're pushing the chest up and forward. And then nice and slowly, we just simply roll over to one side, taking those props away and then lying all the way down onto the back. Take the feet wide, take the arms wide, spread the shoulder blades wide. Let the back of the skull place down and then just release into the neck. letting the head drop to the shoulder, left and right. Feel the whole of the back body connecting down onto the mat here. Feel release through all of the muscles, letting the bones become heavier and heavier. Drawing the knees in towards the chest. You might like to leave a little gap between the knees here, or you can squeeze them together, bringing the thighs down towards the belly. Exhaling as you lengthen the tailbone, really spreading out the spine, the waist, the rib cage. So just feel all of your day release from your back into the earth. All that tension, letting go. And then circle the knees. Try together first few times and then circling the other way. And then open the knees out and just get into the hips a little bit more there. Notice how the hip joint feels. Is it moving quite smoothly, quite fluidly, and then change the direction? Good. Take the legs and the arms straight up to the sky. Big stretch. Reach the fingers up, reach the toes up. And then pull the shoulder blades down, still reaching with the fingers, still reaching with the toes, dropping all of the body weight into your hips and your shoulders. Dead bug pose. And then roll over to one side. Gently press yourself up. And let's come to a wide leg child's pose. So you can, of course, use your bolster, use your blocks here. Take the knees nice and wide. We're going to drop the hips back towards the heels and soften out through the chest, through the belly here. Maybe the hands are under the head. Maybe the hands are reaching towards the front of your mat. Start to feel how the body responds as we come into our second or even third posture, as we start to get into these movements of the spine. So we've already had our back extension. This is really our flexion now. Exhaling, releasing. So from here, we're going to transition into a kind of, it's a cross between a seal and a up dog, really. But we're going to come forward and we're going to drop the pubic bone down, and the knees might just then release the legs a little bit into a kind of a half frog. And then you gently pull back. So you're the best person to guide that through that transition. You might like to bring feet a little bit parallel. So you're really dropping into the pubic bone and then pulling back. Wesley's attacking my chair. And dropping hips forward. Oh, I've had a big back injury this weekend. And it's really not liking that one. Exhale back. Good. Let's slide the hands forward, bring the knees parallel. Let's go into our melting heart pose from there. So keeping the hips nice and high above the knees, pressing into the shins, pressing into the tops of the feet. Maybe you're resting on the chin or the forehead. Feel heaviness through the shoulder blades. Chest melts a little bit more. Sliding this forward onto the forearms, keep it going, and dropping the hips down into your Sphinx pose. Opening up through the chest. My back's not liking that one either today. So stay low where you need to here, or opening out the chest. Remember, are the heels rolling in towards one another, or are they pressing down all 10 toes? Lifting through the heart space, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Nice and slowly, we roll this down. Bring the head to the hands, big toes touch. Sway out through the hips, and then just release back through your tabletop. And take a nice slow cat and cow there. Again, being aware of the legs, so we're not kind of creeping those toes in, we're reaching those toes back, pressing into the shins, pressing into the tops of the feet. Everything is working together. Exhaling on your cat, inhaling on your cow. Now, hopefully you're at the back of your mat. If not, that's okay. So we're going to bring our right knee towards our right wrist. See if you can slide it to tap the knee to the wrist. And then that foot comes in front of the thigh and slides back. Then we're going to bring the left knee to the left wrist and slide it in front. Good. You're creeping yourself forward. Right knee brings it forward and slides it in front. I've almost come to the end of my mat, of course. So we're going to take one more, slide it in front. This is where we come into our cow face pose. So our left leg is on top. We're going to start to sink back, sitting upright. And we're going to take those legs out to the side of us. Bit tricky here. I've given myself minimal space. You can sit on a block if you need to, sitting up nice and tall, trying to get those shins parallel to the front. Sit tall, drop into that left hip just as much as the right. Good. Exhale, take a fold over. We're trying to level off the pelvis. We're trying to level off the chest, letting those knees relax and release. Cow faces are becoming a little bit better and more improved this week with a bit more practice. Good. Dropping that right shoulder just as much as the left. Yeah. Nice and slowly, we unroll, come back up to seated, and then we're going to take that left leg, bring it all the way back, and come back into your tabletop position to go on the other side. So you're right at your back of your mat, left knee comes forward, it slides in front. Right knee comes forward, slides in front. Do two more, left leg slides in front. Good, that's it, nice. Last one. Right leg then comes in front. You open out those feet to the sides of your mat. Reach the sit bones back between the heels, and then open out the legs out to the side. Trying and aiming, much easier with the right, I'm telling you from my perspective, but maybe you might feel this slightly different to the other side, but sitting tall, stacking the knees on top of one another. Exhale over the thighs. Let the head relax, let the left shoulder drop and the right buttock drop. Good, so we're really trying to plant through that right sit bone just as much as we are on the left. And slowly roll it up through the spine, come up to seated, and then this time the right leg spins itself back behind you and you come back up into that tabletop position. Let's move those hips left and right. And let's tuck the toes and pull ourselves back into a toe squat. Exhaling at the back of the mat. Sitting tall through the spine, relaxing into the face, neck and shoulders. Good. Hands come forward and release up into a dangle. So feet come underneath the body. Bend into the knees. If you like, give yourself a little bit of a half lift. Make sure the weight's nicely evenly distributed. And then exhale. Breathe it out. Let it go into that forward fold. Oh, my ankles are cracking everything today. Give into this forward fold here, and maybe the hips are starting to lift up towards the sky. So you're thinking sacrum upwards, crown of the head downwards. Maybe you're holding onto your elbows. Maybe you're letting the hands just drop and release to the mat. From here, we look forward. We heel toe the feet out to the wider edges. Coming into your Malasana squat, dropping the hips between the heels, pushing that pubic bone forward, drawing the elbows in towards the knees, and then starting to open out the chest, lengthening the spine here. Good. Noticing where you start to feel your Malasana. If you're a bit tight, you haven't done a practice for a few days, it might be more sensation than usual. Pulling navel into spine. Spine is lengthening. Sit bones reaching back. Good. Release the hands. We lift the hips. And as we do that, we heel toe the feet into parallel, walking the hands out into your downward facing dog, where you begin to paddle out through the feet. Releasing a heel at a time, stretching through the back of the legs. Not forgetting the toes are getting some work here as well. You're releasing through the Achilles. Exhaling, both heels together, pressing chest back towards the thighs, and really feel the stretch in this down dog. I feel this right in the back of my knees. Where do you feel it? We're going to look forward to our right hand. We're going to bring our right foot to meet our right hand. On the outer edge of your mat, place the foot down. Keep the toes pointing forward. Drop the hips. Release the back knee and release the toes. Keep the belly on the inside of this thigh. If you like, you can come down onto blocks. We're going to stay in this nice low lizard. Maybe you come down to your forearms, trying to drop the right shoulder on the inside of that right knee. Try and keep that foot grounded. So really pull down through the left toe, the right big toe and the right arch. So your right outer foot is on the edge of your mat. That's it. Good. Now from here, we move on to our left forearm. We're then going to turn the toes out, opening up the hip and using the hand to give that right knee a little press. Open out the chest. If you're not on your forearm, you can be on your palm or on the blocks, opening the chest up, dropping hips. Nice. Keeping the foot where it is, the right hand comes down. We're going to pull the body back into a deeper half splits here. So we're actually going to pull all the way back and keep dragging that right heel. So you're going to come down onto your left knee, left thigh. Right leg is out to the side. We're going to fold over that left thigh. You're going to feel this into probably your right extended leg. Getting the belly and the chest down over that left thigh. It's like a child's pose, but not. Lifting those toes up towards the shin if you can. Pressing the sole of that extended leg, foot away. Yeah. Nice and slowly we come up and sweep that right leg back. Tucking the toes, lifting up into your downward facing dog. Exhaling, pedaling out. Starting again to feel the stretches that you're taking your body through. Left foot comes forward to the left wrist. Keep that foot pointing forward, really grounding through the big toe and the inner arch here. Dropping the hips and keeping the pelvis nice and parallel to the mat. We're not dropping into this right hip. We're keeping this right hip lifted, getting the belly and that left shoulder on the inside of that left foot. Maybe you come down to blocks or forearms. Staying, holding. Remember, big toe and the arch of that foot is really pressing down. Dropping left shoulder. And then coming into that more open posture, you're going to release to your palm or your forearm at 45 degrees. You turn that left foot out, opening up into the hip. Left hand gently presses that knee away. So we keep pressing through that right arm. Exhale. Notice where you feel that one. Where are the target areas? And then you come back into center. And then you start to pull yourself back. And you pull that left heel back with you. Exhaling over the right thigh. Pulling toes back of your left foot. Nice and slowly come up, hands come down, tuck the back toe, left leg rejoins, and into your downward facing dog, exhaling. So we're going to bring the knees down, and we're going to come to kneeling at the back of our mat. Take a moment just to relax into the quadriceps. We're going to start to target into those ones next. You can have the blocks by the side of you here if you need extra lift, but the hands come back, either fingertips facing forward or just gently out to the side. And start to lift the hips up. This is going to kill my back. Oh, quads are tight. Gaze to the sky. Lift the hips up a little bit more. Nice, good. I can't do this one today. This is, everything's connected. Nice and slowly, we come down. And let's bring our right leg forward, placing it just in the center of the mat. We're going to tuck the back toes and come into a nice long pyramid. So you're on your tiptoes of your back leg and trying to reach down the back left foot. We're in a long pyramid here. So when I say long, my legs are long. So if you need to shorten that up for yourself, do so. The front foot is planted, fingertips can be on blocks or on the mat. Spine is long, Hips are nice and parallel to the mat. We're going to lengthen out and we're going to exhale and fold over the right leg. Head might come down to the shins. We're pulling the left hip gently forward, right hip gently back. From here, we're going to take a little twist. So the left hand stays down. Right hand sweeps back around to the sacrum. You might be on the palm of your hand, but we're going to start to take a rotation here. We're still pushing back through that left heel, rotating towards our right thigh. You might stay here. Maybe the arm releases up towards the sky. And that's it. So it's a really long revolved pyramid, I'm going to call it. Nice and slowly, that hand comes down and bend into the knee, low lunge, pushing back through that back leg. Drop the hips a little bit more. Really push back through the back leg. Hands come down and then step that right leg back. Down dog. Left leg steps forward. Foot comes somewhere in the center of your mat. Start to release the right heel. Good. Spine is long, either on the fingertips or the mat. Crown of the head reaches away. Pulling right hip forward, left hip back. Belly tucks in. Exhale. Fold over the left thigh. Let the head relax down towards the shin. Trying to release that right heel all the time. Then we come up into that revolved triangle. So the hand comes down. We start to take the twist towards that thigh, opening out to the left side of the mat. Hand comes to the sacrum. It's a nice little safe space there. You can really control the pelvis tilt. And then maybe lifting up that top arm. We're still trying to release the right heel down. Left foot is grounded. Nice and slowly, the hand comes down. Bend into the knee. Again, low lunge. But try, if you can, straighten up that leg. Push back through the heel. Nice, good. Hands come down, frame the foot, step it back into your downward facing dog. Pedal out if you need to, exhaling. From here, we're going to just bring ourselves down and turn sideways on. So this is our frog pose. So if you need to, you're on a hard surface, you might want to double up the mat so that you're padding out your knees. So the knees go wide. Dropping into the hips. And start to find that point of resistance as you push the hips back towards the heels. So bringing those toes forward, that's it. Yeah, lovely, nice. And you feel that point of resistance as you kind of pulse forwards and backwards. Yeah, and you're going to feel it when you go back more. Where that point of resistance lies is really where your edge sits. And then so you might just bring it forward a little bit and then slide the knees out a little bit more. Notice, are you arching through the spine or is the belly gently pulling up? Are you dropping the belly? What's going on there? Are you gripping into the hips or the hip flexors or the inner groin? Can you soften out that gripping? Really relaxing the pubic bone, relaxing the hips downwards. Again, give in to gravity. Nice and slowly bring yourself forward. Bring the big toes to touch. That's a little tricky transition. And then start pulling yourself all the way back into tadpole. So the buttocks rest on your heels, sitting up nice and tall. And you probably feel this inner groin, inner thigh stretch there. Nice. Hands come down as you just gently lift the knees together. And let's turn around and squeeze those knees. Nice. So whilst we're sideways on, let's open out into deer pose, because that's quite nice when you're sideways on. And it pads out all of the feet and the ankles and the toes and everything like that. So opening up into deer pose, we've got this nice little kind of rectangle here. We've got 90-degree bend at the ankle and at the knee and at the hip. Let's just gently bring in a twist. Oh, twist towards your back leg. That feels really nice. And then twist towards the front leg. And you drop that right knee down and then push out through the back hip. Nice. And then get the belly all the way over the thigh. Exhaling there. Soften down. Let the head relax. Again, notice where the target areas are. And then start to come up. And I'm hoping I'm going to have enough room to do this here, but we might have to bring in that back heel just a little bit. And you're going to lean backwards. So maybe the arms come down, onto your blocks. There we go. So we're pulling that left knee down. That's it. Nice. Good. It's kind of a heroic deer. I'm resting on my wicker box behind me. No cat there anymore. Trying to pull down that left knee. Nice and slowly. Press yourself up. Change sides. That was tight, that side. So making that nice little rectangle. Good. Let's twist towards the back leg first of all. Nice lengthen there. Good. And then come forward and rotate, pushing that back hip flex so you get a stretch there. And then lengthen over the left thigh. Exhaling deeply, dropping into the gravitational release here. Soften into that underneath glute. And then walking those hands back. Take the transition nice and carefully. I'm going to have to shuffle around just a little bit here. And bring the elbows down. Maybe you use blocks, but you're lengthening down this right knee. So it's very open into the left hip, and you're pulling down through that knee, quad, and right hip flexor. That is a deep stretch there, I'm not going to lie. Keep pressing down, right shin, right knee, and gently come up. Good. Let's take our legs wide. Going into our seated, wide-legged seated folds, sitting nice and tall, making sure those toes point up towards the sky. Start folding from the hips or hinging from the hips. Nice flat back. You're going to start to feel that coming into the inner groin, into the inner thighs. Use the blocks if you need to. Hands come down and keep folding. Only go to that place where you feel the resistance. And then hold there. That's it. Nice. So those sit bones are pointing back underneath you. Chest is nice and open. We're in a really long spine. Yeah. Different feeling. Good. Shoulders are away from the ears. Making sure those legs aren't rolling inwards. We are externally rotating from the hips and the thighs. Now, staying low, you're going to walk your hands over to your left leg, keeping that right buttock grounded. Start to reach over towards your left leg, exhaling. You're going to pull your left shoulder, your right shoulder down. Notice what parts of the body pull away from the mat here to get where you need to go. You're going to start to walk yourself back through the center. Pause there for a moment. Deep exhale. Let go just a little bit more. Nice. And then walk the hands over to the other side. Again, keep grounding through the left buttock, left sit bone, and then extend yourself over that leg, dropping through the left shoulder. Bring yourself back into center. Take a pause there. Maybe you get a little bit more. Hold and release. Walk the hands back. Come back up into seated. Feel it here. Bring the knees in and give them a squeeze. Good. So we're going to come down onto our backs and gently draw the knees in towards the chest. Mat's moved all over the place now. So just notice how the back now feels, because certainly after the pyramids, the down dogs, the lizards, all of that back stretching stuff, the flexion, the forward folds. You know, we haven't done too many back bends. We did the Sphinx. We did our supported fish. Circle out through the hips. And if you need to, have a strap by the side of you for the next one, but you don't absolutely have to have a strap. Placing the left foot down on the mat, keeping that left knee bent. Make sure you're spreading the load through the pelvis, through the waist, through the shoulders, and the back of the head. Drawing that right knee in as close as you can towards the body. We're going to come into that really long pyramid stretch, but in reverse or reclined. So extending that right leg up towards the sky. We're going to try and keep the body as close as we can to the leg. If you want to, extending the underneath leg. This is your long pyramid. Try and soften out any contraction through that muscles of the right leg. Let them go. We're going to take hold of the outer edge of the foot or the ankle, pulling that right knee away from the rib cage down towards the mat. It comes out as if we were in that lizard pose, that really long lizard. So we're pulling that right thigh down, keeping that foot active up towards the sky, trying to get the thigh parallel to the mat. Again, if all of this is too deep, you can bend out the left leg. And then we're going to go into that reclined shoelace or reclined cow face legs. So we're going to cross the right thigh over the left, knees stack on top of one another, and you take hold of the ankles or the feet wherever you can reach. And then exhale, let the head relax down, pulling the feet away from one another, drawing those knees in towards the chest. And remember, this would be when we did that fold over the thighs. Keep pulling the shins apart from one another. Feet to the outer edges of your mat. Knees pull into the sternum. Facial expression soft, neck is relaxed. Unravel the legs and place the soles of the feet wide, letting the knees drop in towards one another. Take a moment to just rest. We're targeting here our back of our hamstrings, into the outer hip, inner groin, and where else? Yeah, that's pretty much all of it. Heel toe into parallel, draw the knees in, squeeze, and roll out. Keep the left knee in towards the chest, place the right foot down. Exhale there, spread the load through the entire back, relax into the neck and the back of the skull. Next exhale, you extend the left leg up towards the sky, trying to keep the thigh as close as you can in towards the belly. You can always take a soft bend in that knee. And then if you want to intensify that posture, releasing the right leg all the way along the mat. We're pulling down the right knee. Good. Long, long pyramid, or what we're going to call it is reclined hand to big toe. And then gently open out the knee, open out the hip, take hold of the outer edge of that left foot. Get the thigh nice and wide of the waist and the rib cage so that you can start pulling down that thigh parallel to the mat. Notice if the other leg sways out of its hip line. And then crossing that left thigh over the right. Squeeze those thighs together. The knees are on top of one another. You can lift the head up, lift the shoulders up to grab the ankles or grab the shins wherever you need to pull. And then you can start to release the head back down as you pull those feet wide. Pulling the knees in towards the sternum, lengthening tailbone down. Noticing any differences as we switch to the other side. letting go of any gripping, trying to not fight with the posture. And then gently release the hands, release the legs, take the feet wide and drop the knees in towards one another. Constructive rest. Soften and let go there. Heel toe, feet back into parallel. Bring the heels as close as you can in towards the buttocks, placing the soles of the feet down. Make sure the feet are tracking in line with the knees and the hips. Let's just roll ourselves up into a bridge. So lifting up the hips, driving those knees forward. Keeping the neck long, shoulders away from ears. Lift hips. You're going to feel that through the quadriceps, through the hip flexors. Glutes are engaged. Hamstrings are firing up. All of those that we've worked. Lift, lift, lift the hips. And roll it down slowly through the shoulders, through the upper back. Keep the belly scooping. And then the rounding of the lower back comes down. Extend the legs. Right and left into full Shavasana. Take a moment to give the pelvis a little shimmy and a shake, left and right. That in turn wiggles through the thighs, through the knees and the ankles, and then draw the knees in. Take them wide, happy baby this time. So taking hold of the feet and pulling those thighs down. Keeping a nice 90-degree bend at the back of the knee if you can. And we're flexing into the ankles so the soles of the feet are facing up towards the sky. Pulling tailbone down, really lengthening through the lower back. And then here we're actually going to bring those thighs into in front, what do I want to say? In front of the belly, and maybe you switch to the big toes and your two-piece fingers. So you're pulling yourself into this nice double leg stretch there. Pulling those toes back over the top of the head, lengthening tailbone down. I don't want to see the buttocks coming off of the mat. We're pulling those buttocks down. Spine is long. You should be feeling this in the back of those legs. It's like a down dog in reverse. Feel those legs release and become heavier and heavier. Stop fighting with it. And you'll actually feel the stretch feel really nice. And nice and slowly release the hands and release the feet. Take the knees just a little bit away from the body so that you can hold on to the shins with your fingertips, pulling the belly down, just releasing into the hip flexors there. Placing soles of the feet wide and then dropping out into your windscreen wipers nice and slow. So right and left. That's kind of your deer pose is stretch. And going over to the other side. Just keep going with that for a little bit because it's a really nice release into the spine, really nice release into the quads and the hips. And then bring yourself back in. Place the soles of the feet together. Come into butterfly. The heels don't have to be too close in towards the body. Soften out through the hip flexors and allow a natural arch through the spine. So we're not pulling the spine down. We're not activating into those hip flexors. We're relaxing. We can place the hands onto the belly, onto the heart space, or onto the hips, wherever you feel they need more energy, more connection, more sense of touch. Take a few breaths in your reclined butterfly. And then keeping the right leg where it is, you're simply going to take the left hand underneath the left thigh and move the left leg across and in front of that right knee. So you're going to come into your IT band stretch, or your cat catching its tail with the left hand taking hold of the right foot. So we're pushing that left knee gently away from you, trying to ground through the left foot, left heel. Maybe you don't even catch that underneath foot. Maybe you just stay in that pose. That might be enough. Bring that leg back and place it back into your butterfly pose. Realign as you need to. Exhale. Relaxing into the spine, softening into the hip flexors. The right hand lifts the right thigh, and you place that foot over and in front of the left thigh. Opening out that right knee, maybe your right hand comes down and wiggles for the left foot. This feels a whole lot better on the other side. So we're trying to draw down the right hip, right shoulder, leveling off the chest, and everything is, parallel to our mat. We're not skew-iff on our mat too much. Might feel lots of target areas here. You might feel a twist in the spine. You might feel a quad and hip flexor stretch of the underneath leg. You might feel an inner thigh, outer thigh, inner groin of the bent leg. If you are catching that foot, release the hand and then bring that right leg back, placing it back together with the other sole of the foot back into butterfly. Let those knees relax out a little bit more. Now take the hands to both thighs, lifting the knees together. Place the soles of the feet wide, drop the knees in towards one another. Take a breath there, exhaling. And heel toe back into parallel. Draw the knees in, roll and massage out through the spine. Our last posture needs a prop. It is our pontoon. So using your bolster or a block. Now I'm going to go on the lowest level, but you can go on the medium level for pontoon. So we're going to start in our supported fish. That block goes underneath the sacrum. The buttocks are hanging off of the back end. Make sure it's nice and stable there. So find your supported fish first. You might like to take the arms up over the head, but make sure the shoulder blades are spread out from one another. If you like here, then extending the right and the left legs, taking you into that pontoon posture, really stretching across the front band of the body. You'll feel a psoas stretch, hip flexor stretch, quadriceps stretch, intercostal muscles, maybe a shoulder and a chest stretch if you've got the arms above the head. And really give in to gravity across the central band of your body here. Bring the arms back first of all. Bring the right leg back, placing the sole of the foot down. Bring the left leg back. Take a moment to pause in that supported fish to rediscover the alignment. Then press into the feet, lift the hips to take away the block, and gently and slowly roll down through the spine. Take a moment to release through the lower back after that passive back bend. Gently draw knees in, roll and massage out through the spine. If you feel that you need to do something else right now before we come into our final relaxation of Shavasana, go ahead, do that, or just simply make yourself warm and comfortable, turning off lights, using eye pillows, whatever you need. Lying down on your back, maybe using a bolster underneath the knees. Concentration can feel elusive when it feels as if all the tabs in your brain are open. We live in an endless loop of information. Although this is convenient and awesome, it does take a toll on our nervous system. And to function at our highest capability, we need to take time for calm and stillness. So start now by shutting down all the tabs in your brain and finding your connection to your center. Let peace and calm enter in, and breathe in the stillness. I'll let you know when it's time to come back around, but for now, enjoy your reward of Shavasana. And beginning to take a few deeper breaths now as you bring your awareness back into your surroundings, onto the mat, and back into the body. Wiggling fingers, moving wrists, wiggling toes, and moving ankles. Finding ways to move a little bit more, either stretching or drawing the knees in. When you're ready, rolling over to one side, returning up to a comfortable seat. Sitting tall, hands in Anjali Mudra at heart center, just finding your center once more. Connection to your physical presence as you sit here. Connection to your intention. What did you need most from your practice today? And what can you take away with you into your evening and the rest of the week ahead? Always honoring yourself, thanking your body, your breath, and I thank you. Namaste.